Hey, it's Janelle and I hope you've been well and welcome back to my channel. So for today's video, I kind of wanted to talk about my college experience, especially given that I've been out of college for a while and lately I've just been looking back constantly at my choices back then and my experiences, and I've just been thinking about what if I had done things differently and wishing I could have done things differently. So just a lot of like regret, and I don't want you guys to make the same mistakes that I did. So that's why I'm making this video today, to kind of just be honest and tell you guys about why college sucked for me. And society has always placed a glamorous point of view on college, if I'm being honest, especially within the media. Everyone usually says college is the best time of your life. You live your life to the fullest in college, you peak in college, like things along the lines of that. Movies always glamorize college, make it look like the best time of your life, make things look so amazing and awesome. And because of society, that was the idea that I had about college, but that was not my experience at all. I did not enjoy my college experience. My college experience was far from those things that is depicted in society. It was definitely not like that at all. So yeah, I just want to be honest with you guys and tell you what I did wrong and like just talk about my reasonings about why I regret going to college. So if this video will help, I hope it does in some sort of way. If you are still in college or if you're planning on going to college, don't let this discourage you, but just let it act as a warning about, what not to do, I guess, if you are going to college. But don't let it discourage you. If you really want to go to college and you feel like it's the right choice for you and that it's your path, like definitely go for it. But yeah, let's get started. So the first reason why I regret college and why it sucked was because my reasoning for going to college was due to external societal influences. It wasn't because I genuinely wanted to go. If it was for myself, maybe things would have been different, but at the time that I graduated high school, I was just so lost, and as a person that likes to plan and likes to know what they're getting themselves into, I wanted to be sure that I was certain with the path that I was taking. I wanted to make sure that I knew what major I was going to do. And at the time that I was transitioning, I had no clue in regards to anything. I was completely lost. I was just so confused, and I really didn't want to go to college because I knew how much college costed. And I knew it was another big chunk of my life, 4 years. And I wanted to be sure that I was not wasting my money and time. And if it weren't for like my family or my parents or, society, I probably would have chosen to take a gap year. And that's ideally what I wanted to do. And I didn't listen to myself. I listened to all the external influences. My school, especially my school, the guidance counselors were on our tails because they wanted to make sure that we applied to colleges, that we picked out colleges, we had backups. Like, they just went through the whole process with us. And yes, that's very helpful. And I am grateful that they were there to support us in that way. But it just further pushed me into going to college because we had that expectation from not only our families, our parents, but our school as well. Of course, they wanted us to succeed, but I just, in that time of my life, I don't think that it was the best choice for me. But I ended up going through with it anyways because not only were the guidance counselors on our tails about going to college, but so were my parents and my family, because with being in an Asian household and Asian culture and whatnot, they very much value education and see it as a way to success. And of course I understand that, but sometimes, education isn't the answer to everything, I feel like. Especially nowadays, it's like people are even struggling to find jobs with a master's degree. Like, think about it. People with a master's degree sometimes struggle to find a job, so it's crazy to me. But it's so different nowadays. But I incorporated that mindset into my life. I thought that college was the answer. You know, it would solve all of my issues with feeling lost. So at the same time, you know, I kind of incorporated that mindset into my life because I thought, oh, if I go to college, I'll be able to get a job. But now that I'm out of college, I'm even struggling to find a job. So it's like, my mind, I incorporated what my parents were telling me, that college would help me get a job, get a good salary, good income. I did not get that out of college, and I thought that was what I was gonna get. That's what I expected to get going out of college, but I did not get those things out of college. So it was just also really discouraging. The norm is to continue on to college. So obviously I wanted to please my parents, I wanted to please my family, I wanted to please my school, I wanted to please society, and so I didn't listen to myself and I went through with college, which is something I definitely regret because it wasn't for myself. I didn't want to go for myself. I wanted to go to please people, to make myself look good. I didn't want to go for myself. I didn't want to go because I wanted to. I went for the wrong reasons. So my second reasoning for my terrible experience at college was because at that time, not only was I just overall lost, and I'm still lost to this day, but, you know, some things never change, you know, but also at that point in my life, I was just in a really bad mental state, and it just really did not benefit me, especially with such a big transition like moving from home to a dorm. It was not beneficial for me at all. I didn't take opportunities because I was just such in a bad place that I would just shut myself in my dorm room. I was very much anxious. I didn't have the proper resources at the time. So really my anxiety was winning at that time, just really taking control of my life, especially freshman year. My whole life was just, you know, leave my dorm room to go to school, to classes, and then go back to my dorm room and just shut myself in my room and stay in my room constantly. That was my life as a freshman, and you know, you're supposed to be, as a freshman, going out, experiencing new things, getting involved, joining new opportunities, and all that. But I didn't do any of that. And it's really impacting me now. Like, I really wish that I tried to make friendships. I tried to make relationships. But at that point in my life, I was just completely fed up and frustrated. And I just did not want to put in any effort. I didn't want to bother because I was just so fed up with friendships not working out for me. And I just wanted to be with myself and in my own company. So I did not really put in any effort. And that's the one thing I really regret about college, not making any friendships, because it's hard. Once you're out of school, it's very hard to establish those type of relationships. It's very hard to find friends now. When you're an adult and out of school, like not in a school environment, it's very difficult to find genuine friendships, and that's one thing I really regret. So if you're still in college and you're shy like me or you're anxious like me, you know, it will be hard, but please try to make friendships, relationships, because it will be something that will be hard to attain when you're out of college. So don't make the same mistake I did. I really regret not making friendships while I was there. The few times that I did try to attempt like speaking to people in class and whatnot, it did not work out for me either. So that just further, you know, made me feel disappointed and hopeless. So I was just in a terrible mental state at that time, especially my freshman year. That was really rough. My time at the dorm on campus was just terrible. I was really malnourished at the time too. I don't really want to get into that because it's kind of a touchy subject, but I was just really not taking care of myself at that time. So it was just really genuinely really bad. It improved as my years went on, especially that I moved back home. I definitely saw an improvement in my mental health, but my first 2 years of being in a dorm and being on campus away from my family and just being on my own constantly was not good for me. My third reasoning for regretting college, as I've mentioned briefly at the beginning, was not knowing what I wanted to major in, not knowing what direction I wanted to go in. And not only was that impacting my mental health, because that was a big part of like why I was constantly like depressed or anxious, was because I didn't know what I was doing and I was so confused. And I just felt like I was just walking into the dark, you know, with no light, nothing to guide me. I was just very, very much confused and lost and scared. And, you know, when you reach your junior year of college, like they expect you to obviously declare a major, and I was still not ready at that point. So I constantly visited the career center on campus, which I'm grateful that they offer. But it's just so frustrating to me by the time that they added, for example, a shadowing program. I could have really used a program like that when I was still there, because I had no idea, and shadowing would have gave me so much more perspective and more ideas as to what I could pursue. But unfortunately, they added that when I was a senior, so it sucks, but that's the reality, that sometimes things come along and you can't take advantage of it because it's only for students. Like, I wish I could take advantage of it now as an alumni, but I can't because it's only for students. I'm not paying tuition, so it just sucks that that opportunity came along, you know, at a later time when I really needed it, you know, but it is what it is. Anyways, not only did it negatively impact my mental health, not knowing what I was doing, what to pursue and all that, but also it impacts me now, because once you're out of college, the amount of opportunities that you can get are very limited. Because when you're with the school, when you're involved in the school, obviously they're a big network and they have a lot of connections to companies and to different opportunities that you are not able to attain if you're out of school. It's just so much harder. Like, yes, maybe it's plausible, but it's just so much harder to attain similar opportunities or that much opportunities when you're out of school. So that's something that's been really impacting me lately. And it just really sucks, because if I had known what path I wanted to take while I was in college, I could have, you know, figured out what to get involved in, what to put my effort and time into, because especially with internships, it's hard to find internships when you're not a student. So just, I could have allocated, you know, my time and effort into certain things that I knew would help benefit me in terms of my goals and my path. So it just really sucks, because now that I'm trying to, you know, lately I've been trying to get myself together and to, you know, figure out my path and whatnot, and kind of finalizing my steps right now. There's certain things that I should have done while I was in college to kind of help make the process easier for me, if that makes sense. Because now I'm really struggling to do certain things now in my life because I didn't take advantage, or I didn't do opportunities that were available to me while I was in college. It was like, why should I put effort in something if I'm not sure if that's what I'm going to be doing after I graduate? I didn't know if I was going to stick with psychology. I didn't know if I wanted to seriously go through with it as a career. I was just doing the degree because I had to pick a degree. So I wasn't certain if that's what I wanted to pursue, so I didn't bother putting in any effort in trying to connect with professors or get involved in activities in relation to the major or get involved in internships. I did do one internship, which I'm grateful that I did end up going through with, but I could have done more, you know. Ultimately, I couldn't plan for post-graduation because I didn't know what I wanted to do after I graduated, and that really sucked. And it really sucks now because it's impacting me at this moment. So yeah, that's also another thing why I regret going to college, because I didn't know what major or what direction to take, and it's impacting me. It was impacting me not only at the time, but it is impacting me now, because I am struggling post-graduation to find opportunities, to gather resources and all that, especially when it comes to letter of recommendations. Like, I'm really struggling with that. I'm still trying to figure out. I'm still trying to figure it out, so. And my fourth reasoning for regretting college is I felt like I received a useless degree. If you don't know, I graduated with a bachelor's in psychology, and I knew this leaving college because I did do one internship before I left college. And I was aware that, you know, there's not much jobs if you just have a bachelor's in psychology. I was aware of that, but I was kind of at a point in my college career at that time that it was kind of too late to backtrack. It was kind of like I'm almost done with all the requirements for the major, so it's kind of like it's kind of a waste of money if I backtrack. But I knew leaving college, graduating, that I wouldn't have as much opportunities with my degree. But I didn't really know that upon picking that degree, if that makes sense. The reason why I chose psychology was because I had some sort of interest, not only because of my own involvement with mental health, but also I've just always had some sort of interest with it, especially when it came to like certain media, like the Joker, or just like psychological movies were always just interesting to me. So that's kind of like my reasoning for going into psychology. Not the best reasoning, but that's what was justified to me at the time. That's what I kind of took and ran with at that point in my life. Originally, I was a nursing major, but ultimately taking those courses and prerequisites, I realized that I was not enjoying what I was learning, and it was just really not something I wanted to pursue and continue. So that's why I went to a career counselor at campus, and they suggested me to switch to psychology because of my reasonings that I mentioned and whatnot, my somewhat of an interest in psychology. So I ended up going with psychology. And yes, I enjoyed my courses and I enjoyed what I learned. I really did genuinely enjoy some of my classes. Am I utilizing my degree right now? No. And it's hard to find jobs that utilize my degree. I was close at one point, but then, you know, they didn't hire me, so I'm still stuck in the same place. But anyways, yeah, so I kind of feel like my degree is useless. The only way to actually, you know, put my degree into use is by furthering my education. So by going to a master's program, or even, you know, going as far as a PhD. And then sometimes I also beat myself up actually in relation to that. I sometimes beat myself up because it's like, if I had just gone through with nursing, I wouldn't be in this position, but I can't just turn back time. Time has passed, I made my choices, and now I'm here. So like, yeah, sometimes I beat myself up, you know, for changing my major, but I mean, it is what it is. And my last and final reasoning for regretting college is pretty obvious, but I couldn't utilize college, you know, to its full potential, if that makes sense. Like, I didn't fully immerse myself. I didn't experience, I didn't enjoy. I was just not involved in my college experience. Yeah, I'm glad I got through it, but at the end of the day, I could have gotten so much more out of college, and I wish that I took advantage of the time and the resources that I had while I was there, and I didn't do those things. I'm very grateful that I had the opportunity to even go to college. Like, I know that some people, you know, even struggle to afford it and whatnot. So I'm grateful that I had the opportunity. If I had gone to college, like, not immediately after high school, would I still be in the same situation? Would I have been in a better headspace, maybe? Would I have, you know, embraced college more if I had time off after high school? I don't know, you know, I keep asking myself these what if questions and wondering, you know, what if scenarios, but I can't change any of that, you know, like, I'm here at this point in time and this is my reality. As much as I hated college, as much as it was not a fun experience for me, I still wish I could go back. That was my reasons for why college sucked and why I regretted going. This video was kind of depressing, but I just wanted to be honest and real and just, you know, show the reality. Sometimes college is not all that people make it out to be. Sometimes people don't enjoy college. Like, it seems like the majority tend to enjoy college, but for me, I really didn't, but the reason why I didn't enjoy college was because of myself. So I'm not putting the blame on anyone. I'm not blaming anyone in particular. It was just more so on me. That's why I didn't have the ideal college experience. I'm holding myself accountable. It was me. I'm the reason why I didn't enjoy my own experience. But don't let this discourage you. If you're about to go to college, you got this. You can do it. If you're in college, you can get through it. You'll survive. If you're post-college, you know, adulting's hard, life is hard, but you also got this. I'm trying to be optimistic here. Especially with the job market, it's just, it's killing me right now. But anyways, yeah, I hope you enjoyed. Hopefully this video helped someone who needed it. I don't know if it spoke to you, if it was relatable. I don't know. And yeah, that's it for me. That's it for now. And I'll see you all when I figure it out. Bye!